I told him.
It's a Bitcoin podcast. The only one that's making your money is you. Listen to the Bitcoin podcast. So hold on and listen to the Bitcoin podcast.
Did one of you guys put the stream key for Instagram?
We're live.
in? 'Cause I
Something's happening.
did not.
I did. I put it in there.
Oh, okay. Oh, you didn't click all the
Live.
places.
I did.
Oh,
Instagram.
okay. But there's like
Instagram
5.
was listed on there twice for some reason. I don't know why.
Oh, okay.
And the fourth place is Twitter, and we can't stream there because we're not giving in to Elon's demands. We do
No,
not
you-
negotiate with
Premium or something.
Elonists.
I see.
Yeah. Can't say the T word. We got to bleep that out, or we'll get.
Really?
I think so. I hear like in more clips, people are bleeping out bad words for
That's-
reasons.
What do you say instead?
Bearerist. Like they don't say PORN, they say corn. So it
I've
doesn't
seen
get
that on
bleeped
like
out.
Instagram posts or whatever when they just like slash through letters because they don't want the visual AIs to flag them.
Mhm. Yep.
Huh.
Oh
Okay.
shit! We
I
didn't even
hate
start the
the world we
show.
live in.
Hey guys, welcome to the Bitcoin podcast, the original Bitcoin podcast. I'm the host, Talks First D.
I am second host, Dr. Corey Petty, coming at you live.
I'm the third
Live.
host, Jesse.
And this is the Bitcoin podcast. This is the show where we talk about deep things in crypto.
Mhm.
Sometimes, most of the time, it's shallow. Sometimes it's shallow. Sometimes we play in the kiddie pool. No, shallow pool, shallow end, right? And then sometimes we dive
Shallow
deep.
end, kiddie pool. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Grown men never play in kiddie pools. Shallow
Unless
end
they have
of
kids.
the pool. Yeah. Well, they don't even play. They just kind of sit there and watch with that sad look on their face. Like, how did I get here? No, I'm kidding, everybody. Well, anyways, before we get into like some crypto stuff, like how you guys been doing, man? It's the new year, and we're in 2026 now. Last time we recorded, we were in 2025.
It's too early to tell. I don't know how I'm doing.
Okay,
Doing all right.
I can tell
Alive.
you, 6 days in, not 6 feet under, so I'd say that's good for the most part.
Yeah.
And loving life. I didn't make any resolutions this year. I usually do make resolutions, but this year I just forgot. So I guess that's a sign of my
Maybe
life
your
is
resolution for 2026 is to make resolutions for 2027.
That one could definitely do well with. Very easy to do well with that one.
I don't do resolutions.
Yeah, I don't do those either. I
Corey,
fail.
never
how you
done
doing,
that.
man? Beard's looking full,
I'm doing
looking
all right.
nice.
Should be shape up to be a good year. I'm gonna have my house back to myself at the end of this year. That'd be nice. Almost
Oh,
done.
you got the in-laws.
Yeah, doing a compound. So like right now, everyone's living with me. So like into this year, all the houses should be built. Everyone's out. Now it's just me and the kids and my wife.
Nice. But I mean, they'll still be around.
Yeah, they're on the property, just not in my
Within
house.
spitting distance.
No, that's too close.
As your lord. So when you walk into their houses, do you say "Lord entering"?
No.
Duke Petty has entered the premises.
You act like I leave my house. I'm gonna leave my house.
Yeah, but their houses are going to be on your
They got my
property.
house.
Like if their houses are on your property, then you have to say like the
Nah.
Duke has entered the building.
Well, they got their own properties. We sold it to them. We just carved out a section and sold it to them. It's theirs.
Okay. How do my? No, I'm kidding.
What are you talking about today?
Anyways, well, Jesse got to talk about his day or his time.
I've been working on the Archivist desktop app, and it has been going slower than I'd hoped. That's what I've been working on.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Good stuff. I myself, pretty good week. I've been off from work for quite a while, but I start back up next week. And just had some good holidays, man. That's it. I'm ready to get back into full swing of thing. So let's talk about why the price is moving. No, I'm kidding. Sorry. No, it is. But
If you wanna
we're
have
gonna talk about
good
it.
notifications that the price is moving, you should join the Discord and get into the Price Talk channel because it's just a series of gifts that are
Wow.
related to what the price is doing.
Yep.
And they're pretty funny. Most of them are Selma hack, but
Join the Discord. Scan that. And when you'll know when the price of crypto is going up because you'll see neat gifs. No, it's over there.
No, it's not.
You don't mirror your screen. Oh, you don't mirror your screen. Okay. Anyways, there's a QR code up there. Scan it. Join the Discord. Join the conversation. But today, what we're talking about is something we've talked about at nausea, but we're going to keep talking about it because it's what we do, and that is if literacy always centralizes, crypto literacy to be specific, not actual people being able to read. What should we actually optimize for? What does it mean? Okay, so if I could explain this tangibly, what it means to me is when I show a newbie a TXID and they click on that link and they go and they look on the scanner for what that transaction did, they usually, you could see their brain start leaking out of their ear, right? So that would be crypto illiteracy. But crypto literacy would be able to go through a transaction line by line and explain exactly what they're looking at, what went where, how did it go there, what does that data mean, what does that message mean, right? Like people can't even, what's the word I'm looking for, dissect and do proper forensics on their own transactions. Whereas if you're you to take banking literacy, people can always look at their statement and they know that's a very easy thing to dissect. I had debits here, I had credits there from these accounts, Dunskies. But if you're looking at a blockchain, there's a whole lot more going on, Big Daddy. There's like inputs, outputs, data now. There's other things. Like it just keeps expanding, right? So crypto literacy is what I'm talking about there. If you show somebody a screenshot of a TXID, will they know what's going on?
I don't know. I don't like that definition. I see what you mean. You want people to be able to get all of the ins and outs of what happens when you send a transaction and like what these things mean. But that's too much, I think, for the average person. For me, it's closer to like, what does it provide that other things don't, like banking, right? Or centralized banking. Literacy is understanding the differentiation that blockchain is, or a decentralized blockchain is compared to a centralized bank. And like what a smart contract is offering in some type of, very generic sense. What a decentralized application is versus a centralized application is. Like that's literacy to me. Not some of the more esoteric, mundane details of any given blockchain that enables these things.
Yeah, but if we're talking literacy, we're talking like.
Are you literate?
Right? Like,
because I'm not literate. I'm not that literate.
I'm more literate than most people, but like I don't know some of the intricacies of like Solana, and that has some changes in it with respect to a given transaction and how a transaction is considered final that I don't understand. But like any EVM based thing, yeah, I'm quite literate. Bitcoin, yeah, I'm very literate.
No, like I'm talking to D.
Oh.
Am I you're talking to me? Am I literate? Like Corey said, when it comes to Bitcoin, I feel very literate, like extremely literate. Enough to right now, I could walk into a bank and say like, hey, give me a job, scan in the Bitcoin blockchain, pay me a lot, and I'll help you out with that. And they'll be like, really? And I'll be like, yeah, I can read that. Right. But when it comes to Ethereum, yeah, I'm pretty sure. Like I know, like if it's a 1, it's like Legacy. If it's a little B, it's SegWit. Like there's other ones like 2. I kind of know a lot.
I feel like so. Like I skimmed a build a Bitcoin implementation article, and I was going through it, and there's a lot in there that I don't know. So when did you leapfrog me?
What did you say? Hold on, I was responding to people in there.
Like when did you leapfrog me in your understanding of Bitcoin, like core code?
Well,
no, I'm not talking about transaction IDs on Bitcoin. I'm talking about like more than that. Like even Ethereum, like for instance, when you're using what's that, the Keystone hardware wallet, right? Being able to decode a smart contract transaction, like that's something I can't do.
Well, I would not say I'm literate in decoding smart code transactions, but we're talking about literacy here. There's literacy, which like is like ow now brown cow, the man ran, the windy day hurts my feelings.
That, like,
and then there's
Corey's
like
point,
reading at a PhD level. Like there's like levels to that shit. But the literacy, like that's the one I'm talking about. Ow now, brown cow. Yeah, like yeah.
Well, then I think the appropriate for literacy is that you submit a like understanding a few key concepts of blockchains. Most of the time, it's you submit a transaction. You have to wait for the network to process it. You usually pay the network via a transaction fee that's extra from what you'd like to send. Yeah. And that transaction fee is going to be subject to what that transaction does and the congestion of the network. Like that's it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Basically.
But that's not a lot. That's like anybody from a bank.
That's how now brown cow for like literacy.
Yeah. So like what could you do, D? That's more than that.
I probably could learn more about, smart contract, get a little bit more literate there. And I say probably, I need to, considering the fact that that's going to be everything.
The weird part is that like for like the method, like the way I see it, the way that's done today will not be the way that it will be done when I think we have quote unquote like mass adoption because it's public. And what you expose to the network is a bunch of things you wouldn't want to expose to the network if you're doing some type of private business transaction. And we only do that because back in the day when we invented these things, we didn't have zero knowledge tech or applicable zero knowledge technology.
Yeah.
And so you had to do it in order to do the verification process and ensure that people weren't cheating. And we built all of this off of a transparent ledger. But that's not gonna be the thing we eventually use because you have to have privacy.
Yeah.
Your business doesn't want to expose business secrets. They need privacy.
So then that contradicts D's point then, which is the fact that like he understands Bitcoin and Ethereum well enough to be hired by a bank to do blockchain forensics, which I don't think he could do. But when you're talking about having an alternative blockchain that is private, that is even more complicated than Bitcoin or Ethereum in terms of the implementation. So like what? No.
It's not I could do it. I have done it.
It depends on what level of things you're talking about.
Yeah, right? We're talking about different things.
He wasn't doing like chain analysis level, like
right. That's what I'm talking about.
He was doing
like banks do a lot with crypto in
for
crypto
sure.
now. Like if you talk
courses on this stuff, like
yeah,
and there's a lot of different levels to this type of stuff. He's perfectly capable of a lot of those levels. Just when you get to the lower levels of like entity analysis and doing real forensics on blockchains, it becomes a nightmare, especially now. They're much more complicated.
Is that what banks do though? Like what, like if
you're like, well, they don't do it. They hire chain analysis and elliptic.
Yeah. They hire experts.
Like Coinbase does it in-house. They do all that stuff in-house.
Yeah. If you want to work at Coinbase, man, you gotta be on your shit, dude.
I remember meeting the CSO, the chief of security, a long time ago when I was in security. Trail of Bits had this conference in New York, and I went there and he gave a talk, and we talked for a long time on what security looked like at Coinbase. And I was like, you've got a lot more than I do. Jesus.
Interesting.
What's interesting is like we did not remove trust from any systems at all, but we are redefining and reformatting and refactoring what trust means in the new world.
That's a good way to put it.
That is the definite, right? Like you have to trust people. Like there is no life without trust.
So
right. There's some people right now living a life without trust in a very dark and gloomy room with green lights for some reason, listening to probably some sort of techno music. And like, I just don't think that's like.
Was it Jesse that made this like graphic on like?
Yeah, he made it last week
versus private.
Yeah.
It's like that nails it, right? Anything that is not secret, meaning that it's private or public, means you have to trust, right? The moment you include someone else is the moment you are trusting something to ensure that something or someone to ensure that private thing doesn't get leaked outside of the people you expect it to go to. And so the key point of all of blockchain was to remove trust from humans and put it into the network. So you're trusting the network to manage things appropriately and not what previously got relegated to humans as like a central point of authority. That was the whole point, and it's still the whole point.
Yeah, when I was thinking of like somebody who works for banks, I was thinking of like Johnny, like those trio of guys that we interviewed a while back, Johnny, Zach, and
Johnny
Joseph.
Ray. Yeah,
Johnny Ray. Yeah, and like his experience working at I think he worked at NFCU, doing blockchain integration stuff, and like that's like you're a programmer, you have to be a programmer. Like I don't think there are any jobs, or maybe I'm really wrong, but like
banks,
there are no jobs.
A lot of jobs that are just like not programmers. I know a lot of people.
No. When you're doing blockchain integration, like for instance, if you're integrating, what's the Privy, like Privy, right? ZKPP, Privy, whatever, all that stuff.
Yeah, you need to be a programmer.
Yeah, like there's no way
at
around
least
it.
at least like a code monkey.
Right, exactly.
Code monkey.
Yeah. So like that's what I'm saying. Like like it's not sufficient to just look at a balance transfer. Like that's not it. Or using basic OSINT tools. Like it goes way harder than that. Modern.
I know, Jesse. Everything that I do in my life goes way harder, but I can't go that hard in the paint. Like I said, there's a finite balance of fucks to give every day, and I have to be very strategic in how I debit those, because if I don't, you know what I mean? If I don't get 7 hours of sleep, then I'm starting the next day with a smaller allotment of fucks to give. So I gotta be very strategic. Now I can load up my fucks, right? And that is, if I load up my fucks and I'm getting good sleep, exercise, diet, all that good stuff, taking care of the kids, kiss my wife, get more fucks, right? But there's only so many fucks. But
I mean, this is like an argument I've had anyway.
That could be the name of a book that I write. There's only so many fucks.
That's I guess my point. It's like the people that I see doing some like pretty hardcore shit, it's like they don't have any obligations. They just know life shit.
Yeah. It's hard.
Infinite balance.
Having a life is hard.
I think now, if we're sticking with philosophical life stuff, I think if I were in my 20s, I would have done more to have given myself a higher base of fucks to give in a day. Does that make sense? Like just like Corey banged out his PhD in his 20s, right? And now he has a higher base level of allocatable fucks because
in specific areas.
Yes, in specific areas, but also in general.
Also
in general, like if you walk into a place and you're like, "Hey, my name's Corey Petty, I want to work here," and they look at your resume, they're like, "Oh shit, PhD." They're like, "Holy shit, this guy's lots of fucks," right? But if they look at my resume, they're like, "Ah, this guy has a measurably lower amount of fucks. I don't know if I want to hire the number of fucks that he has."
I almost think that like in traditional companies, like they don't give a fuck about they do give a fuck more about the credentials, but in real work, like it just matters that you can do it.
Experience.
It matters that you can allocate the fucks.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. Taking that analogy way too far.
No, not. There could be a whole book about it, maybe. Fucks to give. So anyways, back to the topic at hand, crypto literacy. I guess
centralizes. So
what we're saying is that okay, so so what I mean by that is the same thing that I've always kind of meant, though. Like I'm as literate when it comes to the water that comes in and out of my home as that there's a water main out there and there's a big ass pipe there's a big ass pipe running somewhere out there that goes to a bunch of big ass pipes. And then there's a smaller ass pipe running to my house. And that's what gives me my water. And then there's a small ass pipe running back that takes the waste out. That's it. That's all I need to know about how the utilities and the water get to my crib. That's it.
There's a degree of specialization that you don't give fucks anymore. Yeah, like I think
all those big ass pipes down, I'm going to get to some sort of filtration system. I'm going to get even further down to like the river, right? Like or maybe a water table. Like I know that there's specialization that goes there. There's probably a chemist somewhere in there that's like taking chemical samples at different stages of the water at different heights of how below or how high it is.
A lot of civil engineers.
A lot of civvies, like people like there's a lot going on out there, and I'm just like, nah, like that. So like that level of literacy is going to happen in crypto, right? And we have to define a system so that everybody can still use the water. Yeah. Right. And that's where I think that crypto is having trouble finding its footing, and the professionals are stepping in and they're like, well, we're going to define the system for you because you guys obviously want a little bit of a chaotic situation, and we can't just have everybody pouring fucking motor oil down their sinks.
So if you're building permissionless, credibly neutral infrastructure, you can't keep people from pouring motor oil down the sink.
That's true.
What you can do, hopefully, is price them out of it. Make it such that they're not incentivized to do it. Right? So Bitcoin works the way it works is because the incentives are so overwhelmingly towards playing by the rules that people do it. So spamming the network costs too much money. People don't spam the network. I mean, ordinals.
I like that. Argue. Feel free to pour motor oil down your sink, but when we catch your ass,
no, you're gonna pay for it. Like the process of pouring the motor oil down the sink is costly.
Yeah.
So you're not gonna do it. That's the whole point. Like, this is something you brought to my attention a long time ago. Because for those that don't know who are watching the show, me and Dee went to college together. I spent a lot of time in high performance computing and using supercomputers. And there's this, and me and Dee took a class where it was like supercomputing. We got to learn how to write programs that run on supercomputers for various things. And as a part of that class, you got allotment on one of the supercomputers at the university we went to, Texas Tech.
Oh, and
that's a computing paradigm that a lot of people don't get in the proliferation of the devices that we have. We all have laptops and mobile devices and phones and these types of things that just have a lot of computing power within them. But no one has ever really had to rent time on a computer and then worry about the computation they do with that time. And so when you think about a blockchain, it's much more close to using a supercomputer in that you have a limited amount of time and it costs money to run code on that computer. And so that's not something people are used to. And it's a paradigm shift for using this. There are instances where you want to use a computer like that for a given reason. It costs money for a reason because it's special. It's not general compute like on your phone. And so the question is so what's the special about it? For supercomputers, it's incredibly high connectivity and bandwidth so that you can spread a single problem across a very large number of processors, and those processors can talk to each other really, 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 really fast. So you can solve really, really, really big problems you can't solve on your local desktop. But you can't do that on a blockchain. A blockchain is different in that it's resilient. It's trustless. It's decentralized. Well, the whole point
is to work in an adversarial context versus a fault-tolerant system.
It is resilient and is the main thing. And so it can't be taken out from underneath you. It's accessible to everyone. And so when you have that combination of being incredibly accessible and incredibly resilient, so it can't be taken from you, that's valuable, right? That's why it costs money to use. But like I said, it costs money to use. And so you're not going to end up spamming it. You're not going to put motor oil down your sink because it'll cost you too much. It'd be a waste of time and money.
Some clever people, though, don't they see the adversarial context, and they, for instance, what's that one guy who was attacking Monero?
I forgot his name.
Was talking about Bob?
It was
sorry.
It was one of the miners for just one.
Yeah.
I forget.
So that's an example of exploiting a blockchain, right? And there are a few, I guess all this to say, even every protocol has its weakness. For in the context of storage systems or compute systems, anything that you're trying to have an Uber-like dynamic for a thing that's a commodity, you don't want to have fluctuating value of a native token that you're using to pay for the service, because it's almost I think I've talked about this before. You don't want a variable cost of using your toaster to toast bread, so such that if you put a slice of bread in your toaster, it could randomly cost $1 million once it pops out and it's ready to eat. Like, that's awful, right?
Terrible idea.
And there are some people who are predatory in our ecosystem who can exploit the ways in which the system had not been built to handle that adversarial attack that that they run. So like, anyway, going back to the whole topic of this is, if literacy always centralizes, or so, like when we were asking, like, what does it mean to be crypto literate, and is it inevitable for it to centralize? Like 100%. Like, nobody's going to take the time and know life this shit. It's not like normal people who do this. Just like in anything, like if you're a plumber, you specialize in that. If you're anything that can make anything worthwhile that isn't just like brain dead factory work, you probably have a specialty, and you have a lot of domain specific experience that comes with that.
Yeah. Now that I think about it, we can't have the answer to this, because it's the same thing like human, right? Like there will be lanes of literacy in which you go down, right?
Yeah.
Like, for example, like there's be people that use the highways. They just use the highways. And then there's the people that go to the International Highway Conference and Award Ceremony every year. And they can't wait to get into that big ass room and talk about concrete with all their concrete loving friends, right? And they just like, oh, like, have you seen the new U design on the high scale, high volume highway system that we're using? Like, oh, I heard there's a new steel rod coming out next year, right? Like, there's people like that on the planet, like, and their literacy in highways is higher than anyone's will ever be. But most everyone else is probably like, yeah, I take the exit when I need to. I take the on ramp.
I ran into when I was doing laundry in like this shitty apartment complex I used to live in. There was a PhD guy. He had a PhD in some sort of chemistry subfield where his job was to improve the quality of highway material. Like, that's what his job was.
Oh God.
To like
probably
make it last longer. Yeah.
It's
inorganic chemistry
from civil engineering
like,
perspective kind of thing.
Yeah. So like, he's the one who like who are the people who do chemical compounding, like for painters and all that shit?
Chemical engineers.
No. I mean, like, company, like
inorganic
the biggest
engineer.
Company. No. Like the company that built Kevlar, that made Kevlar.
I don't know what you call them specifically.
Anyway.
What did my brother say at my bachelor party? He was like, my goal in life at this point is to be the most memorable NPC. He said, I want to be the most memorable NPC that people come across. The one that gets the memes. The one that's like, oh, everybody loves that NPC. Everybody knows about that NPC. He was like,
when did he say that?
I love that. I think he said that. Oh, you were there that day. You were there that day. We went to like the beach. No, not the beach. Shit. We went to the pool.
Oh, when you guys got high.
What? We don't do those things. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? We did none of such things.
I saw the pictures.
The pictures don't exist, actually.
Anyway,
like DuPont was the company as I was talking about.
Okay. I was going to write a book about this. I still want to write a book about this.
Being an NPC?
No, the whole information specialty asymmetry. Like, there's this trade-off between how much you know about something, or like when you go down the depth of a specialty, as you go further and further down into that depth, the less viral or spreadable that information is.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so
interesting.
You get to like, and you only have a certain amount of capacity to spend time in a certain environment of information.
Yeah.
And so you have to kind of choose in various portions of your life. Like during my PhD, it was very, very, very deep in a very niche specialty that I can only talk to about with about 3 people in the whole world at that level of specialty.
Yeah.
And so, but as you go up into the, I guess, complexity of information, until you get to the surface level, you're at basically memes, which is the most viral piece of content available, in which you're spreading something that is incredibly viral, but you're spreading it in such a way in which consuming that information requires 0 thought. In fact, you even get some feeling associated with it with a meme. You're supposed to feel a specific way about a specific piece of information. And there's that trade-off.
Surf this.
Huh?
I was gonna say people who surf this the best are like comedians.
Yeah. So comedians are able to give people information about things they already know, but in a way they didn't know it or like see it in the fashion like that. When they're able to do that like, oh, I see it that way, and that's funny. That's an interesting way to look at it, right? That's like
the bigger the laughs, the more that what they said was structured in a way that it tapped knowledge that people already had. And like if a room fills with laughter, that means they all get the joke, and it has to be delivered in such a simple way. And so, like to your point, once you get into a domain, like for instance, if we were trying to figure out how to write the like ABI for the keystone, like there's nothing funny about that. There's nothing shareable about that. It's just we have to do a thing, and we have to learn some specific information to be able to do that.
You're doing it for a reason, right?
It's a means to an end. Correct. Yeah. So maybe that's the point. It's like it's not exciting to learn the things that actually move things the most.
I mean, yeah, but like you get this, then you get to this other, I think, general trend in personal development that I'm latching on to, and I've learned to embrace as I've gotten older, and that the way in which you improve yourself is by committing to the boring stuff, right?
Kick the tree.
Like, yeah, kick the tree. You get up, you go to the gym, you eat good food, you study, you spend time doing real things regularly, you write. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not I party like a fucking rock star every night and now I'm a super successful person. Like, that's not how you develop skills other than maybe like partying. Like, and so like personal development is through doing boring shit. Yeah. Kick the tree, as D likes to say. Like, you do bone hardening by hardening your bones and kicking a tree regularly.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know what kicking the tree means, you need to go watch Jean-Claude Van Damme. There's a documentary actually called Kickboxer. And then there was a second documentary called Bloodsport about a underground martial arts combat arena.
What a movie.
Jesus Christ. They don't make that kind of shit anymore.
Bro. Like Pai Mei from like Kill Bill, like the whole Pai Mei thing. That's an example of like you gotta do the
re-releasing Kill Bill like next month with an extra 45 minutes of footage built into it. Yeah, I'm gonna go watch that. Because she said I didn't really like Kill Bill, and she said that shit like last week, and I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me? Are you?"
Sorry, you picked the wrong one. She might as well be putting the toilet paper on backwards.
So the second talking point that we were going to go through today is centered around. Before
you do that, if you you want to commit to doing the boring thing, you can follow me and Jesse as we walk through.
It's incredibly boring.
We're doing the incredible boring thing by walking through an entire textbook on zero knowledge. So hit that like and subscribe button. You'll get it, and you can come join us on the adventure of learning zero knowledge together.
There are brief moments though where like there's some sort of intuition that you're like, oh, that's cool, and then like, oh, that like it unlocks like an aha moment, and then it's part of something incredibly important in cryptography. And that's like
we try and do like conjecture and like, what is this useful for? I think it's useful for this, and we look it up, and like it is useful for that.
Yeah.
This if you want to commit to the boring, you can rock with us also in the Discord. Where there's lots of people in the Discord. That QR code gets you into the Discord, by the way. If you're on Twitch, give us a follow. You never know where it might lead. If you're on YouTube, give us a subscribe. You'll see us pop up and talk about more boring things. But nevertheless, that QR code is there. Yeah, man, we've had a pretty good amount of people come in and out.
Andy Yonkin joined us.
Andy Yonkin, yeah.
Yeah.
See us still talking about crypto. So talking point number 2 we wanted to get into is privacy, or as the Brits would say, privacy. User experience versus mass usability, right? Is it a zero-sum trade? Right? I don't think it's a zero-sum trade. I think there's going to be people that want to be private and people that don't. And I think there's
what does that mean? What do you mean by that? Is it
the colors up there?
Some trade. right?
Is it a zero-sum trade? Like that's why I got paused on that question. Is like, what zero-sum with who? Those that want to be private
zero
versus
sum
those
is usually
that don't?
a measure of scarcity. So, but like that all, but you can't trade privacy, right? And so, like when I think of a zero sum game, it means that
I think a Ryu versus
the only way that
M.
I
Bison.
win is if other people lose. That's the
Yeah.
definition of zero sum, right?
So
Is that
it's not the
when there's an
appropriate phrase
imbalance,
here.
it's
Yeah.
like, and so
there's an inverse relationship between privacy and usability for sure. Like for instance, as you crank that privacy knob, you take a performance hit, you take a usability hit. Think about like Bitcoin and private keys. Like we all know that having a private key is already too complicated for normal people. Like it only gets worse as you crank that privacy knob.
Yeah. So what happens was when you make something that is, say, completely private, as an administrator, which what that does is it makes it also very, very, very generic. The tubes that move that information from one person to another as you're communicating or leveraging that platform are dumb. They don't know what they're moving. They're just doing what they're told, and they have no ability to alter that in any way, shape, or form. When you start to release some of that information such that the tubes that connect everything can parse and look at some of that information they're moving, they can then do optimization. They can do like your router, for instance. Right now, your router looks at every packet that comes through it and makes a judgment call on how it moves that packet based on who it's going to, what type of service it is, this type of stuff, right? If it can never see that information, it can't do that optimization. And so it can only work towards it can't optimize. And so you're limiting your ability to optimize a system because you don't have information to optimize with.
That's an interesting way to look at it and think about it like that.
And so there is a trade-off. There's a fundamental trade-off to privacy. And I'm curious to see how we do things like zero knowledge that allow us sufficient optimization to have a usable thing. And I don't know the answer to that. There's a trade-off.
So good at that. Well, let's go with what we do know and what we have done, right? There's small things that make things like kind of usable and understandable. Like with the internet, there's the HTTP versus HTTPS. So I think everyone knows the difference at this point. Don't go to a website if it's HTTP unless you built the shit and it's running locally on your system kind of thing.
There's no like financial or private information associated with being on the website or talking to it.
Yeah, like go in there knowing that anything you put in there gonna get gone, right? And then there's HTTPS, which is secured, encrypted. Don't know how anymore, forgot. But everybody knows if a website has HTTPS, it's safe to go to. Safe to go to, right? Like there's a basic level, but like with crypto, there is no HTTP or HTTPS, or at least not that I know of. I know Zama. Weren't they trying to get
zero knowledge, like ZKVMs are an attempt in some capacity. Well, the one we're building is because it's optimized for privacy, not for scaling. There's still problems at the lower and lower layers of privacy that can introduce leaks that can then be used to either censor information, optimize, whatever, right? So there's no real. So the thing what TLS does, which is what the S is in HTTPS, is encrypts the connection between you and the server that you're talking to that's hosting the web page you go to. So that way, as my packet moves from my computer to that server, it's less likely to be snooped on and intermediated or changed or altered, like some man-in-the-middle attack or something like it. You made the tube dumb. It goes to the server unpacks it, understands it, and you can talk back and forth in what's called a secure channel, so that anyone who's watching that channel, say for instance, if I send that website my credit card information to buy something on Amazon, no one who's watching that channel of information can extract it. They can't see it. And so if we look at that endpoint to endpoint path for blockchains, there is no such thing as TLS. There's so many areas along that path where information gets leaked in various ways. And the goal is to try and get to a point where we can have something like that, where like the entire pathway, the entire pipeline from me sending a transaction to it showing up on someone's application is completely encrypted. It's a dumb pipe, and that's going to take a lot of work because it's way more complicated than just making a handshake to a server and getting served a website.
When you look at like people doing forensic analysis on mixing protocols like Railgun or oh my gosh, my memory's failing. The one that was sanctioned by OFAC, Tornado Cash. So like there's timing, there's amounts, like balances being moved, and then you try and cluster these to try and dox who is moving what. Like there's I think somebody on like there's a OSINT subreddit, and I think one of those there's a website that somebody has there, and it's like basically tools to dox anything and everything. And there's a lot of interesting crypto doxing tools where you can, like, for instance, I ran this on our TBP donation address because we have a Bitcoin address and we have Ethereum address. I could see like everybody who donated to our addresses. I can see like all the wallet relationships, like all of that shit. Like, and that's just a very basic OSINT tool. Like you can make some really crazy OSINT tools nowadays. And like, that's the whole point of what we were talking about earlier. Why I was saying D, like the people who work at banks who are probably like forensics experts, like you have to be able to program. These people are like chain analysis people. There's like they're good. They're good at what they do. And they have deep specialty with
like I've worked with them.
All of that stuff.
Zach XBT, like that dude, like he, and like what's her name?
Taylor?
Not Mariah Taylor. I don't know why I thought
Mariah.
For some reason, I was thinking Mariah Carey. I don't know why Taylor. Taylor, you don't even look anything like Mariah Carey. Actually, I apologize. Look at this comment, dude.
I know he went down.
So curbing stop. No, Corey and I have known each other for like 2 decades. He's just gathering his thoughts, but we appreciate you trying to stir the pot, I guess. All right. So it's not a zero-sum game. I don't even know why the questions are phrased that way, but like you said, Jesse, like
it's like there's trade-offs, right? They're like it's like the triangle, right? Like performance, decentralization, like all of that shit, security.
I guess it's saying is that if you move in one direction, either towards privacy UX or mass usability, is it like if I move towards usability, am I guaranteed to remove privacy? And I don't think it's 100% that case. There is certainly a trade-off there that exists, like fundamentally a trade-off that exists there. But I think there's still a lot of room for us to play with providing a very, very private, usable experience.
Yeah, I agree.
I think ultimately, like what everybody's waiting for, and even what, IFT Logos is trying to do is private blockchains. And like everybody's trying to do this right now. And like there are apparently weaknesses in Zcash that like I've read so much literature on Zcash and comparing it in Monero. Like everybody kind of knows Monero is like the best if you're committing crimes. But like even it has its own weaknesses in terms of being able to like try to reverse the built-in mixing of amounts in Monero, but at least it's not as obvious as Zcash in terms of the shielding and unshielding of transactions, where like there was a paper that basically said if you're trying to use Zcash for privacy, like there is a way to do it, but you're not accessing your balance daily. It's a store of value essentially, because you want like value at rest is most private versus moving money frequently. And to be fair, like having a private blockchain, like it will make DeFi, which is the only thing keeping public blockchains alive, very difficult to implement and for people to adopt. And that's the whole point. Like that's why MEV is able to exist, because people are degenning on chains, public chains.
What do you feel about the recent all of this stuff? Sometimes it's been happening so long to me, I barely even care about it, but it can be rippling words. For example, Jamie Dimon got on the news yesterday and he did a complete 180.
Yeah, he did a 180.
ever talked about crypto. Like it was crazy. Yeah. Like he was like, yeah, this is the future. Everyone needs to be, and our company needs to be figuring out a way to implement
they've already
smart
done
contracts.
They've been shitting on crypto while they secretly trying to not understand things and control things.
Don't take my old classics out of my mouth. Don't take my old.
It's your classic. You can't be talking about. Can't be not saying your classic now.
I'm not gonna say it again. I feel like at a certain point you say things so many times you're just like, okay, nobody's listening anymore. That's why old men just get crockety, or is it rockety, crotchety? They're just like, I'm not fucking saying it anymore.
I'm tired of.
I'm not.
Tired of saying.
I'm not gonna say it anymore. I'm just gonna sit in this chair and fart and sleep.
Speaking of which, we rebuilt the website for the sole purpose. Like for me, I rebuilt the website. And I'm continuing to add to the rebuilding website for the sole purpose of figuring out what the hell I've said or we've said over the years and who we've said it to.
Wait, Corey, hold on. You got to say I rebuilt the website again. Give me a second. I'm going to use it. All right, say it one more time.
I rebuilt the website again. Yeah, there it is. That one's pretty cool. Yeah, but like
the Quartz repo. Shout out to the Quartz. You should do that.
Dude, Quartz, Jackie Zhao is the man.
Yeah,
I use Quartz as a piece of software for making websites off of Obsidian vaults, probably more than I should.
More than you should, 100%.
Here's a different kind of question.
But like at the same time, like I'm able to like search this stuff now and see. Like there's a lot more work to do, but looking through all the websites, looking through the website and look at all the stuff we've done, and then I'm making links in between all of them, so I can see like, oh, this person has been on all of these shows this many times. When I start adding more resources to it and get transcripts, we're going to see like, oh, we talked about the idea of MEV through all of these episodes. Maybe we'll see that, right? And then that'll just be cool to kind of see like how things have evolved over the years, because
our conversation webs.
Yeah, and like even just the concepts that we like, how we thought about things back in 2015 was so different than how we see things today.
You'll trap shit.
I think our like 5th episode was like Eric Voorhees.
It was episode 5. I remember being extremely nervous to talk to him because I don't know.
It was dope for like a bunch of nobodies in 2015 talking Eric Voorhees.
Yeah. Hey, Mr. Voorhees, how you doing, man? Real fan of your work.
None of us have good microphones.
Yeah, Cello and I were talking on the same desk, Jesse. Like he was on the opposite of the desk. And our voices were just echoing in the mics. And then in post-production, I would have to like edit all that echo out. It was terrible. But anyways.
I wonder if the people in the audience even know who Eric Voorhees is, because like we'd know him.
Probably not. It's a good question. Do you guys know who Eric Voorhees is? If you do, say yes in the comments. If you don't, then say, who's that guy? And then we'll point and laugh at you. No, I'm kidding. He is a godfather of crypto.
He's an OG. Yeah. Bitcoin OG.
Phillips says yes. Oh, Phillips, man.
Get him,
I saw your comment earlier. Thanks for catching us twice in a row. This is, usually Tuesdays are going to be our day to doing this. So,
yes, he was a Bitcoin definitely. OG. He sold his poker game for like, I don't know how many. It was like hundreds of thousands of Bitcoin at the time. I think
he's an Ethereum OG too.
Yeah, he was one of the first of the early Bitcoiners to like accept the fact that Ethereum was a thing that was going to stick around. And that's why he made Shapeshift, was to start moving coins around different networks in a privacy preserving manner, because like Bitcoin only had Bitcoin, but then we had this like proliferation of similar chains to Bitcoin, but Ethereum was the only really differentiated one. Most of the other ones were just like Bitcoin, but they just changed the hashing algorithm to script or something else like that.
Yeah, but his foresight is just tremendous, dude. Like he wrote with the group of Shapeshift protocols, like thinking so far ahead of time to where like you don't have to care at all what money someone pays you with. You'll just get what you want, whatever money you need to do your life. Right.
Yeah, back to a bartering system, right? He was talking about going back to a bartering system because we have the infrastructure to do it.
Yeah.
Way back then.
The bartering system works. It's just so damn messy, dude. Like you can actually account for it on like standard what is it, gaps for the what are they called, gaps, the accounting principles, general accounting principles and systems or whatever.
No clue.
Yeah, it's called gaps, and you can account for barter, but like nobody wants to do it because it's just like, hey man, I'll give you 5 free nights at my hotel if you give me some countertop. And they'll be like, okay, sure. How do you account for that, right? Like it's bananas. But anyways,
coincidence of wants. That's the problem you're solving is the coincidence of wants.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why money even exists to begin.
I've heard of that a long time ago.
If you read this,
now they can do that, right?
What is that book about? Is it 5,000 Years of Debt? Maybe that goes through this, and it shows like basically the technological history of money. So that's what the bartering system had the problem of coincidence of wants. So we invented a proxy.
We're gonna do two hard switch ups here in the conversation. The first is like a personal question because this is just, and we're all adults here. Like when you guys like do something, like when you had a really productive day and you get something done that you've been trying to get done for like a long time, does it make you want to like? It makes me want to take my wife to Pound Town. Like, does that phenomenon exist for you guys?
No.
When what happens?
When you do something, like when you had a productive day and then like a project that you finally can put the pin on, like I'm done with that. Did that?
Do I feel good about that?
Yeah, I'm gonna do it. Did it?
No. Do you want to have sex with your wife as a result?
I mean, I always want to have sex with my wife. So like,
I don't know. As a result
put that out there,
accomplishing, it just puts me in a better mood, which makes those types of feelings more prevalent because I'm not bogged down by other stuff. So sure.
Boom. We got a yes. Jesse said no. Jesse said no, not really. I just feel like I got something done.
There's a separation of concerns. Like it's irrelevant.
It all bleeds together.
I want to run this back a little bit because the internet is forever, and I do always want to bang my wife 100% of the time. Baby, you and me. 100%. Wake up wanting to do it, go to sleep wanting to do it. Love you, boo.
2012, Voorhees launched Satoshi Dice. And so at one point, it would account for half of all Bitcoin transaction volume. In 2013, so a year later, he sold Satoshi Dice for 11.5 million worth of Bitcoin.
God damn.
So he got $11.5 million worth of Bitcoin in 2013.
Real trap shit.
Doing so bad.
Let's see.
Real trap shit.
Price.
And that's a lot of money, dude.
And then 2 years later, after his settlement with SEC was finalized, he launched Shapeshift, which was
how many?
Very different. He launched Shapeshift.
11.3 million?
What?
11.3 million.
11.5 million.
11.5. So the price was $13 at the beginning, and then it spiked to $1,100 in December. So what price do you want to use?
I don't care.
So he has at most 870,000 Bitcoin. And at the smaller end, is it?
That's just for this sale too, because like he was a Bitcoin OG in the past, so yeah, he had a lot of.
Correct.
He entered into Bitcoin. Voorhees first encountered Bitcoin in 2011. So back then, Bitcoin was very cheap.
So he has five to 6 figures of Bitcoin at that time during that sale, somewhere in that range.
Voorhees got a lot of money, baby.
He's burned through it just like we did.
I hope he's not a weird rich dude. Like rich dudes get weird. Like lately, like that's the trend for the last 100 and some odd years is that rich people are weird. Like I hope he's not weird.
I mean, I would argue, run out of time, but anybody who is absurd, like obscenely rich, is not a normal person. They're like a couple sigmas from the mean of normal.
In what way?
I mean, all kinds of ways.
All the ways.
Like, you don't do extraordinary things by being ordinary. Like by definition.
You do.
No, you don't. You do not do extraordinary things by being
do such
ordinary
weird
person.
sex acts if you are incredibly wealthy.
What?
I mean, I have to make that correlation, but like when you're already like
it puts the lotion.
You already view things differently than everyone else does. That then put you in a position to make a bunch of money because other people didn't see that opportunity. You're more likely to be weird in other ways too.
It doesn't have to be sexual, I'm pretty sure. But like,
no, it does not have to be
those
sexual.
Stories. Have you read those stories about the Saudi people? Like, They
Careful.
fly in bottles, and okay, we're just gonna skip that.
About that. We don't talk about that.
Okay, no, I've not heard these stories, and I don't think we need to.
Yeah, it's freaky deaky with a capital F and a capital D.
Yes.
So I guess we had one more talking point, but it's something that we could talk about in the next episode, and we will talk about it in the next episode, because we've had this conversation, literal arguments about this. I think like Corey gets red because he's a redhead, so Corey will turn red when he argues, and that's how you know he's arguing rather than having a discussion. It doesn't happen often, but if he's turning red, he's arguing with you,
or he's drunk,
right?
Or
he's drunk, right?
Or sunburned.
Or both, right? No, because if he's drunk, he turns maroon.
Or he got out of jujitsu.
Well,
yeah, it helps.
Yeah. Anyways, the question is, do builders have a responsibility beyond tooling? Clip that. That's what we're going to talk about next episode. I know. Look at the wheels; they're turning already.
It's just these questions are so ill-formed.
No, they're not. You just got to think. You just got to think about it. You just got to think about the question. I think they're good questions.
God, all right, whatever. Well, I'll fucking fight about it next time.
Think about it like this, man. Think about it. You're in medieval times, right? And you're a builder of things. You're a blacksmith, and the king comes down to the stairs, and the king is like, "Hey, just had an orgy, and I thought about a torture device I need you to make." Okay, wow, you're the one that's got to build it. You're the one that's got to build it, right? You got to build a torture device.
I understand what the question is asking. The words that are used to ask the question are bad.
Okay, so fuck it. Anyways,
I'm autistic. I'm gonna bitch about these things. It's fine.
Gestate.
I just want to say that I was lurking in the Home Lab Discords. Shout out all of you autistic fucks. They sound like Corey, but like on steroids. Like people were granularly correcting other people.
Tom.
Yeah. It was awesome though. I enjoy listening to that because like you learn stuff because people are very particular about being accurate about the details.
Actually is usually the
yes the meme. Yeah.
Stop with it.
Actually. No. Okay. So sorry guys. I'm not gonna go too crazy with the sound effects here.
We gotta wrap things up. Half of our viewers from that sound.
Dude, we lose half like every 3 minutes. That number goes up and it goes down. I'm not even.
It's up again. At this point. It's up again.
Yeah. Back. If you're still back, if you go here right now, scan that. It'll take you to a Discord invite link. That's the invite link to the Bitcoin Podcast Discord. In that Discord, you will find us, but you will also find builders, investors, traders, Bitcoin OGs, Ethereum OGs, Ethereum Newgies, lurkers. It's a great microcosm of the crypto community in general. You'll find privacy advocates. You'll find people building hardware. You'll find people using hardware and talking about it. You'll find gifts of Salma Hayek. There's a lot in there.
A lot of them, like half of all those things.
Yep. Sometimes you can even participate, and there's a bot. We got bots. There's a bot in there. And you can win TBP token for doing things with the bot. Like, hey, there's this guy.
You're exchanging services for payment.
Yeah, right. And like everything in crypto, you're gonna get a bunch of tokens. Maybe they'll have value, maybe they won't. We can't tell you they can because that's illegal. But you'll get some tokens, and then maybe one day those tokens will be worth more than tokens, right? But
I have no clue if that is actually going to happen, but I can definitely launch a token.
Yeah, we'll launch a token. You'll get the tokens. So, for example, if you make an interview recommendation to us and we end up interviewing that person, you'll get some tokens. If you find a grant program of some sort of obscure crypto that you think has education and it's educational, and you want us to dive into that grant program and see if we can either be a part of it or create media for it, and we do those things, boom, you're going to get a piece of that action.
But basically we do token buybacks, so we will take a percentage of the tokens that are associated with whatever the grant or sponsorship is, and we'll put it towards operating costs of the podcast, which is like Google Suite, paying for the StreamYard subscription, all the shit that we pay for. And then a percentage of that will go to buying back the token, and then another percentage of it will go to you, who basically gave us that lead. So it's basically lead. We're paying you for lead generation and leads that actually qualify to being useful. That's it.
Yep. Clip that. We forgot to say clip that this entire episode, by the way. We really have to get into the hang of that. Yeah, anyways. So we're gonna roll out for here soon. We're gonna do our shout outs. Shout out to old long neck, wide smile Zoe Saldana, the highest grossing female actor of all time.
Did you really?
Yeah,
because of Avatar 3?
Because of Marvel and because of Disney. Hardcore. That's it. That's all you have to do is say Disney. Like highest grossing of all time. Shout out to her. Shout out to the Dominican Republic.
How much money? Out of curiosity.
Millions.
Okay, I'm gonna look this up then.
I don't know. I just said highest grossing, and it was coming from her Instagram account, so I figure she knows, right? She's come a long way since twerking in Drumline to being a giant blue alien for the rest of her life. Because there's 3 more Avatar movies that are supposed to come out. Can you believe that? Can you believe that?
She's not the highest grossing female actress.
Just made
it's
that
Scarlett Johansson.
Instagram was wrong.
Scarlett Johansson. Yeah.
Oof.
Dude, just think about it. Think about how many more Black Widow movies she made.
Fact checked.
Yeah. So she's leading.
But yeah, she's got the Avatar.
She does have Avatar.
And Avatar is expensive, dude.
Avatar is expensive.
Anyways,
so if you want to
fact check real time.
Yeah, if you want a fact, Zoe Saldana is among the highest grossing actresses ever, having starred in films that have collectively earned over $15 billion, placing her second only to Scarlett Johansson in all-time box office gross for actors, with recent success from Avatar, Fire, and Ash continuing to boost her totals and potentially putting her in the top spot soon. So yeah, maybe Avatar puts her over.
So she's like around the corner.
Maybe, yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway,
I hate Avatar.
Dude, I actually thought I did, and I watched it again, and I'm enamored again. I watched it on my big TV, my big nice TV.
1 or 2? With
all the stuff. I watched 1 and then 2, and I was like, you know what?
Interesting.
These movies look so good, it makes the story better.
It definitely looks good, for sure.
I watched it again recently, and I was really impressed. I'm going to go see this 3rd one soon. And plus, James Cameron is one of my favorite directors. Is him second, and Christopher Nolan first. So that's how.
Can I drop a question to the audience as like a final thing?
Yeah.
Okay. If anybody in our audience likes Warhammer 40K, give me a book recommendation where to start, because I'm into it. I just don't know where to start because there's like hundreds of books.
If you get one of those, you know, I made it all the way through the end of this podcast. So kudos.
Oh my God, Jesse! If we start see a live stream, we start seeing your Warhammer board back there instead of that fridge island situation.
No, I'm not going to get into the board game. I just want to read the books.
Nerd.
If you get into the board game, I'll get into the board game.
I'm not going to fucking do that.
I'm not.
Yeah. I don't have time to paint metal figures.
You need a very large amount of allocatable fucks to get into.
Yeah, don't have that. I have a 3D printer I got to dive into. That's going to be enough of my time.
Yep.
I don't.
So to those of you that collect the most TBP token in the year of 2026, Jesse is going to 3D print a small back tickler for you and your loved one.
Small what?
Small back tickler.
I'm definitely not going to do that.
Yes, he is. Clip that.